He's the man making sure people get the last laugh or perhaps the last word. Bill Edgar, aka the Coffin Confessor, is paid to attend funerals and read out messages from the dead. Their final wishes can shock, surprise, sometimes delight, but also expose long-buried secrets.
After releasing 2 books filled with hilarious, sometimes morbid and often moving stories from the job, Hollywood is now taking notice. Bill has officially signed a deal to bring his story to the small screen, with the producers behind those hit shows like Ozark, Bear and Severance on board. The Coffin Confessor could be TV's next favourite character. How incredible. The Coffin Confessor himself joins us from our Gold Coast studio. G'day. Congratulations on this exciting TV deal, Bill. How did it all come about?
Good morning and thank you. It came about after quite a while actually. I've been working with Australian producers and people from around the world, and it just so happened that Ted Gold and Kobe Rowe reached out to me from LA and they said, look, we've just read your book, we think this idea is really good, we love the concept, and my whole idea was to be a part of it. I didn't want to just offload it and not have anything to do with it, so I needed to have some sort of control. And they allowed that to happen, so I was really happy, and I signed with them and they got a deal done with 5th season, and lo and behold, here we are.
Wow, so it's not a dramatised... Is it a dramatised version of your story, or is it you actually physically going to do this and being filmed?
No, it's a dramatisation.
Wow.
There are talks of reality show and a few other things in the works, but at this stage, it's just the drama series.
So who's going to play you? I mean, we're going to see Jason Bateman from Ozark playing you, Bill. Who is it?
Look, I'm not sure, but we have, there's talk around, Bryan Cranston, Woody Harrelson. Me personally, I'd like an Australian there as well. Hugh Jackman would be good. So who knows? Who knows?
There's a little bit of a Woody Harrelson about you, I've got to say, Bill. I do see that. There are so many weird and wonderful stories from your book. What particular stories do you think are essential to make it into a script? Like, what are some have been the standouts?
Oh, definitely the start. I mean, how it all started as a joke is obviously, the most compelling, and how I became the Coffin Confessor is, it's quite remarkable, and how it's got to where it's got. I mean, it's incredible. It's just gone around the world, and everybody's talking about death in an open way now, and it's pretty cool. So there's a lot of stories in the books, that they're going to grab, and they're going to, as Hollywood does, they'll probably, highlight them and run with it.
So, Bill, tell us how you did actually deliver this first message from someone who had passed away at their funeral. How did that? You say it was an interesting story. How did it start?
Well, I told a dying man that I'd crash his funeral for him, and it was a joke. I just, he wanted something done at his funeral. I said what I said, and a few weeks later, he took me up on the offer, and I crashed his funeral for him, telling his best mate to sit down, shut up, or bugger off, because he's got something to say, and this is what it is.
And what was it?
What was it?
Well, his best mate had been trying to have an affair with his wife while he was on his deathbed, and it didn't go down too well, and his best mate was outed at the funeral, and a lot of people there knew. And there were vultures in the family too that attended the funeral, and my client said, look, if my brother, his wife and their daughter arrive at the funeral, can you please ask them to leave too? Because I haven't seen them in 30 years and they still owe me money I loaned them, so they can get lost.
Were they there?
They were there and they did leave.
Crocodile tears.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. See, it's his funeral. It's not theirs. They were there for them, not him.
I love that. No wonder Hollywood is snapping this up, right?
Exactly, and every person on the planet's got a skeleton in the closet or a story, so yeah, it's going to go well.
And the kind of mechanics of how you do it, because there's obviously kind of a run sheet with a funeral, there's a eulogy, you might sort of view the coffin. You just stand up in the middle of proceedings and deliver this message from the dead. Is that right, Bill?
Yeah, exactly. So I attend the funeral as one of the mourners. I sit amongst family and friends, and a specific time set out with my clients. I'll interrupt this funeral service and I'll read aloud exactly what my client once said, and as the messenger, I do what I do, then I leave. So I don't know if the funeral even continues. I leave.
Have you been crash tackled out of there? Like, I imagine it doesn't always go down so well.
It doesn't always go down so well, but those that truly love the person laying in the coffin, they know, they want to hear what their loved one left unsaid. They want to, they really do. So they're sort of what you'd call my chaperone, my bodyguards, because they want to know. They really do.
Bill, how busy are you doing this? Like how many...
Oh, look, the doors have opened in so many ways. I'm going to viewings and placing items in coffins. I'm pinpricking bodies so people, are petrified of being cremated or buried alive. I'm delivering gifts from the afterlife. I know I'm actually delivering messages now face to face by going to somebody's door and saying, excuse me, your auntie is passing away and she's told me specifically to tell you not to turn up at her funeral, and if you do, you will be dragged out.
Sorry, you're pinpricking bodies just in case they're not dead?
Yeah, look, it's a request. It's a request.
Wow.
People have requests, and that's what it was. Can you come and punch me in the face or pinprick my body, make sure I'm dead? I'm petrified of being buried alive.
It's quite the full service you offer.
Wow.
And I'm loving this for you, Bill. The Coffin Confessor, you've got the books out, and now this is heading to Hollywood. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Doing is it the Lord's work? Doing the dead's work? I'm not sure, but
I think it'd be interesting if you
concierge.
pretended to be dead and then you sent Bill and then you saw the response and then you popped out at the funeral as well.
That's
I just cannot
the next
wait
step.
for this whole season.
That's the sequel.
Bill.
That's season 2.
That's the sequel. That's next.